Hey folks, welcome back to Military Forces Unleashed. Today we're throwing the laws of time, logic, and military procurement out the window to ask a single brain-melting question. What would happen if a modern Russian T-90 tank was dropped into the middle of World War II? And no, we're not talking about blueprints or prototypes, we mean a fully armed, fueled, and crewed T-90 up against the best German armor had to offer, the fearsome Tiger II, or King Tiger. It's a clash of titans across time, a third-generation main battle tank from the 1990s versus the final evolution of Nazi Germany's armored behemoths. Today, we're not just here to say who would win, we're breaking down the why, the how, and most importantly, the what would go horribly wrong. Because nothing in war is ever simple, especially not time travel tank fights.
Imagine you're a Panzer commander in 1944. You've trained to face Shermans, Churchills, maybe a few T-34s. Suddenly, out of the fog comes a 50-ton monster with explosive reactive armor, laser-guided missiles, and a computerized fire control system. Your 88mm gun doesn't even scratch the paint. Your radio crackles, your loader screams, and your King Tiger just became obsolete. This isn't sci-fi. This is what happens when you pit doctrine, steel, and diesel from two completely different eras. And yes, things get messy.
To really understand the magnitude of this matchup, we have to put both tanks into historical context. The King Tiger entered the war in 1944 as Nazi Germany's last word in armored warfare. It was designed to dominate the battlefield with superior frontal armor, up to 185mm thick, and a long-barreled 88mm cannon capable of piercing almost anything the Allies had. But it was also over-engineered, underproduced, and prone to breakdowns. The T-90, meanwhile, was developed in the early 1990s as Russia's answer to NATO's next-gen tanks. At just under 50 tons, it's lighter than the King Tiger, but far more mobile and deadly. With a 125mm smoothbore gun, thermal imaging, explosive reactive armor or ERA, and the ability to fire anti-tank missiles straight from the barrel, it represents a full leap into modern combined arms warfare. But here's the thing, war isn't won by specs alone. Terrain, logistics, crew training, doctrine, and raw luck all play a role. And putting a T-90 in 1944 might not go the way you'd think.
Let's start with weapons. The T-90 is armed with a 2A 46mm 125mm smoothbore cannon. It can fire armor-piercing fin-stabilized, that's APFSDS, high-explosive anti-tank, HET, and even laser-guided missiles with a range of up to 5 kilometers. That's 5 times the effective engagement range of a World War II tank. Add an autoloader, and the T-90 can fire 6 to 8 rounds per minute. Now the King Tiger. Its 88mm KWK-43 L71 gun was the best of its era, punching through 200mm of armor at 1,000 meters. It terrified Allied tankers, but against the T-90's layered armor, composite base plates, Contact 5 ERA, and in newer versions, Relict ERA, it's a pea shooter. In terms of protection, the T-90's reactive armor can neutralize heat rounds and absorb kinetic energy. The King Tiger relied on sheer steel thickness. It worked against Shermans, but against a modern tandem charge missile? Not a chance. Mobility? The T-90 runs at 60 kilometers an hour on roads, has a range of 550 kilometers, and includes snorkel systems for fording rivers. The Tiger II? Lucky to hit 38 kilometers an hour, and its 700 horsepower engine struggled to move at 70 tons. If the road was muddy, forget it. It might not even make it to the fight. Let's say the T-90 magically spawns in Normandy. First contact happens at 4 a.m. It's cold, misty, and quiet. A German unit spots it, sort of, but their optics aren't thermal. No night vision. They just see a dark shape. Seconds later, the T-90's thermal scope locks on. It fires a missile. Boom! One King Tiger down before the Germans even get off a shot.
But here's the twist. The T-90 is also out of place. This GPS doesn't work. There's no satellite coverage, no encrypted comms. Its crew has no logistical support, no fuel resupply, no ammo caches. Once those 43 shells are gone, it's a fancy bunker. And what happens when the electronics glitch or the autoloader jams? Plus, Soviet-trained crews wouldn't be trained to fight a World War II battle. They're expecting drones, air support, GPS grid coordinates. Suddenly they're dealing with paper maps, unreliable radios, and no recon. That's not just inconvenient, it's deadly.
Here's where we separate the YouTube hype from real battlefield logic. Yes, the T-90 would annihilate any tank from World War II in a direct fight. No contest. But wars aren't one-on-ones. The Germans deployed thousands of Panzer IVs, Panther tanks, AT guns, and infantry with Panzerfausts. Even the mighty T-90 can be flanked, trapped, or broken down. And if the tech fails, and it often does, it's just a big metal coffin. And let's be honest, the T-90 has its flaws. Indian Army tests revealed turret control issues, electronic malfunctions, and even poor crew ergonomics. During combat in Syria and Ukraine, there were cases of T-90s knocked out by older ATGMs when they weren't fully equipped or when ERA bricks weren't properly fitted. So yes, the King Tiger's armor is laughable by today's standards. But the warfighting ecosystem of World War II, dense terrain, ambush tactics, logistical chaos, would challenge even the most advanced MBT dropped into the past.
This what if isn't just a nerd exercise. It's a case study in technological evolution. The T-90 isn't better just because it's newer. It's better because it integrates firepower, mobility, and protection into a balanced doctrine. But take it out of its era, and suddenly its advantages become vulnerabilities. The King Tiger teaches us the opposite. Brute force without logistics or maneuver doesn't win wars. Germany built 492 King Tigers. Russia built over 5,000 T-90s, and even they're slowly phasing them out in favor of the Armata platform. Every tank, no matter how advanced, becomes obsolete. What matters is the system behind it: training, doctrine, support, and adaptability. The T-90 would win the duel, but it wouldn't survive the war.
So, what did we learn? That raw technology doesn't guarantee victory, that every war has a context, and that sometimes the scariest tank isn't the one with the biggest gun, but the one with the best crew, the best logistics, and the right doctrine. If you enjoyed this mental battlefield simulation, give us that like, hit subscribe, and share this with that one friend who swears the King Tiger was invincible. Spoiler, it wasn't. And drop a comment below. What other what-if scenario should we tackle next? Maybe a Leopard 2 in Vietnam? An Abrams in Stalingrad? You decide. Thanks for watching Military Forces Unleashed, where we don't just tell war stories, we dig into the steel, the sweat, and the strategy behind them.